Hello and welcome to Greenville, North Carolina for Gatekeeper and Heiser Media's combined coverage of the Down East Players Cup presented by Basket Bashers. As always, we'd like to thank Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply for making this coverage possible. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks-Wells. Dan, who do we have on our card for this third and final round?
All right, leading it off, we have Paige Shue at 1 down from Charlotte, North Carolina. Tied for first with her at 1 down is Holly Finley from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. New to the card, Katie McErlean at +8 from Sandston, Virginia, rated at 862. And last but not least, we have Irina Shakhova at +10. So we're going to be looking for that battle at the top. And then it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a battle here for third place.
Yeah, should be an exciting third and final round. For this third round, we head back to West Meadowbrook Park. Here on hole 1, we've got a nice par 3 through the woods. Little finish to the left. Let's see how our players like to attack it. Pretty much just have to miss that one skinny tree in the middle, and you should have yourself a look.
And hopefully today is not as windy as yesterday, and these girls can actually see their discs fly like they're used to seeing them.
Yeah, it was a little blustery and kind of, inconsistent out there, but definitely nowhere near as windy as it was for round 2. Also, a little more wooded at this course, so you don't have to worry too much. Trees block a lot of that wind.
Well, you can see Holly here a little early. That's probably a better way to kick, right? It looks a little bit more open compared to the left side.
Yeah, we'll see what she's got over there. The left-hand side can be really bad if you do take a left-hand kick on this first hole. This is what you're looking for. Oh. Katie catches that last tree on the left-hand side. Still, we'll probably have a circle 2 look. You can also see as the camera pans here that very large. Oh, you can't see it in this shot. You saw it in the last shot. The actual Down East Players Cup is a huge trophy, so a little bit of extra added pressure on hole 1, seeing that in your peripheral.
Thinking what could be.
Looks
yeah,
like
she didn't really have much. She just had to pitch up, and that's like a veteran move right there, just taking your medicine and saying, all right, I'm going to pitch out and I'm going to take my 4.
Yeah, definitely. Hole 1, no need to take a huge number, get yourself into trouble right off the bat. So, yeah, like you said, smart move from Holly, just a little pitch up from Paige as well. Looking to play for the par, but we got a long birdie look here for Katie.
Yeah, just off a little bit. A little bit of a far putt to start your day, so if that goes in, that's cool. If not, no worries. Par and move on.
Yeah, same thing there from Irina, just a little low on that circle 2 look. But nicely done to make that comebacker there. That's a good confidence builder for par to start off the day.
Yeah, hopefully everyone's putting confidence and distance at which they're willing to run it is up this round comparatively. If you did not catch round 2, I'd go back and take a look at that. It was interesting, to say the least, to watch how everyone handled the wind.
Yeah, definitely
just a tough day.
Yeah, tough day, different kind of golf, something we're not used to. Hopefully, yeah, like you said, we get a couple more highlight putts out there today. Nicely done from Holly there to just keep it to a single bogey.
Katie here, cleaning up her par. Not a bad way to start the day either.
Not at all. Jumping ahead here into hole 2, it is a par 4 at 435 feet. You got one tree in the middle of the gap. Pick a side. Doesn't really matter which way you go, as long as you land something in the middle of this pretty open field. The OB pinches up towards the green, so no need to get too aggressive off the tee. If you're biting off anything around the 300-foot range, should leave pretty straightforward up and down to get the birdie.
Yeah, and as we talked about before, last year this played as a par 3, and they have changed it for the ladies, and I think it's a good call. The main difficulty, the first shot, should just be getting out the gap and being able to approach into a green that is surrounded by OB.
Mm-hmm. Did play as the easiest hole. Ooh, as we see our first person to take the left-hand side. Definitely biting off some more distance, getting a full flex out of it there from Irina. It's a nice shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the par 4 did play as the easiest hole in the course at a 3.75 average, but still a good amount of score separation. You saw birdies and bogeys both ways. So, and it can happen really quick with something like that. Puts Holly in a tough spot now.
Nice little stand-up hyzer on that. Gives herself a, looks like an inside the circle putt.
Yeah, that's a really great recovery. Get aggressive there. That's kind of where the trouble can come into play with that OB left. You can see Katie's flying over it nicely, or that OB fence on the right-hand side can get you into some trouble. So some nice control to keep it inbounds and give her a chance.
Oh, little air bump right there.
Yes, still a little bit of wind out there on the course, but all right, so maybe it's a little longer than we thought from Holly. Let's call it 45 feet or so.
Yeah, a little light on the bid. I'd like to see her run that a little harder, but nice birdie by Paige, and she will take a, I think, 2-stroke lead now.
Yeah, it's nice to get a little bit of an early cushion. I'm sure she's thinking, but still plenty of score separator holes on this course. I'm sure we'll see a back and forth battle for most of the day. Would not surprise me. Nice birdie there from Katie. Irina looking to do the same.
That's a nice putt. It's got to be got to get birdie, it feels like, because it is the easiest hole, but every birdie feels good.
Yeah, especially as Holly finishes out, but good par save, yeah. Especially early round birdies, get the momentum moving in the right direction. As we head into hole 3, it's par 3 at 184 feet. Chip around the right-hand side. If you have the forehand, that's the play, but there is OB on both sides, short right and deep left of the basket. So if you don't have get the distance control right, you could get yourself into some trouble. It's a nice shot from Paige there, pretty safe. Just puts herself in the middle. She might have a long putt from there.
Yeah, I remember the first round we watched, everybody seemed to go OB. From what I remember, it seems like playing a little bit safer shots here, knowing that this is a tough one to get.
Yeah, especially there can be some swirling wind out in the open field that you can't necessarily feel from the tee pad. Can get you into a little bit of trouble. This is, yeah, like you said. I like the safer pitch up to the corner. Don't really mess with that OB, especially the OB early right can get you into trouble. This is an aggressive line from Holly, though.
Seems pretty good. I think we want a little bit more flex out, but no, that's in the circle. Very nice.
Might as well give it a little bit.
Yeah, we love it. We love to see a little bid. You know, we missed out on a lot of little bids in round 2. So.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. I mean, from over there, it looked.
So if any part of your disc is in bounds, you are in bounds. For those of you who were wondering, I think they called her in, and she'll be happy to take her par after almost going OB.
Couple of pitch ups, only birdie look from the card from Holly, just around circle's edge. Doesn't quite give it the height on the slightly elevated basket.
Note there was one birdie from the FPO. Jennifer Smiley, shout out to you.
Yeah, it's a good one to pick up. But the card overall played this hole a lot smoother than what we saw in round 1. Maybe some lessons learned, adjustments made. You'll have to see it.
And you guys are in the shade so much in the back now.
Jumping into hole 4 now, another gap you have to hit off the tee into this open field. It's going to play as a par 4, 405. You can kind of pick your poison heading into the green. There's a couple different gaps to take, but objective number 1 You got to hit this first gap off the tee, or you can miss the gap, but hit the much smaller gap on the right-hand side like Paige is doing there. And yeah, she's not going to complain about that result.
Absolutely not. You take it. We take the good luck with the bad. This looks great. This keeps turning. I think it's still going to be fine. As long as you're pushing that tree line, I think your upshot in becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, if you're in or at the edge of the tree line, it's probably less. It depends. If you're left, you might have a little over 100 feet, but you might have like a long jump putt. Honestly, this is probably a little more left than you'd like. The angles will get a little bit smaller from over there where Irina is, but she'll still have, I'm sure, some sort of shot to get up and down. If this comes out, it could be great.
I think it was going to. Would you say the right side's a little bit easier to be on? A little bit more gaps?
Yeah, if you're going to throw that backhand, I think doing what Holly did there, like a little baby turn that comes out at the end, is probably the ideal line. Because, yeah, if you fade out left like this over here,
That's tough.
just a lot more trees to beat, you know.
Right, we could barely see her. We could barely see the line. Yeah. That seemed a little short as well.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of par look she's looking at. Yeah, I think this is an eagle look after that great drive that we saw from Katie.
A little
Oh,
jump
high.
putt in.
But yeah, that'll work just fine. And yeah, Holly's got also a look. But like you can see, there's just so many trees up here by the green. It's
Right.
kind of just like hit or miss whether or not you actually will have a putt.
Yeah, she's probably not happy about the previous shot. Wanted that one to be a little bit closer and pays the price for it.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have a couple of tricky birdie looks coming up here. Paige is gonna be the first to throw.
Great putt.
Today, off to a great start. 2 through 4, super solid. Holly looking to pick up her first birdie of the round.
There you go. Getting it started, getting back under par, and not letting Paige on the other side get too far away. You know, if you're playing against a world champ, you blink and all of a sudden you're back a couple strokes, you know?
Yeah, it happens quick. Jumping into hole 5, par 3, 338. There's technically a Mando at the end of that baseball field. Most players are going to look to throw a nice power hyzer that's moving from left to right, or right to left, I should say, the whole way. Yeah, that's pretty much the shot. The only real mistake is pushing it too straight and finding that tree line, but it's pretty far away. It plays a little uphill, so it's tough to do.
Yeah, it seems like because of the angle and the distance. Do you think a lot of people are getting a putt at this?
I think in the FPO division, you know, across the board, this is kind of playing as that upper echelon of distance, right? Because you got to throw this shot on all hyzer. I think someone like Holly, who has that comfortability throwing that a little flippier disc on a hyzer flip that kind of pushes the whole way, definitely has the distance to get there. But I think most of the field is probably coming up somewhere in circle 2, if not a little farther out, just because of it plays far.
Yeah, it seems the wind is whipping as well. So, couple of long bids here. So we are getting some runs at it.
It's a pretty runnable putt too. Usually going to be uphill. Paige kind of had the tree in the way there, so just unfortunately has to lay it up. But yeah, this putt right here from Katie, very runnable.
Let's see. Our last chance, the bird. Just a little low.
Yeah, a little bit of swirling wind. You can kind of hear it in the leaves. A little hard to predict what your putter's going to do. Better to err on the side of caution. And, you know, if you're going to miss it low. Kind of what we saw across the board there. But,
Right.
you know,
So-
on a pull like this, par is fine.
Right. Let me ask you a question. So everybody took a 3. is there something you got to do to change that consistency? Like you want a couple bogeys, couple birdies, or do you just leave it how it is?
I don't know. I wouldn't hate backing it up to the MPOT, call it a par 4, something along those lines. It would be something interesting to experiment with for next year. Taking a look at hole 6, par 3, 414, slightly downhill. Most players are probably going to try to throw a slightly backhand that drifts from left to right the whole way. Low ceiling, this is a tough hole for sure.
Oh, man.
But that's kind of perfect.
Yeah, that seemed great. The little flex line, I love that. It's one of my favorite flights out of the disc.
Angle looked good out of the hand there for Katie. Just oh, there's a gardener. I don't know what that guy's doing.
He's trying to do his job. People are throwing plastic at him.
This looks like a great angle from Holly too. Kind of looks like he clipped a limb and almost hits the guy again.
He liked it though. He was digging that one. Here's this flex line. Get a little skip. Yeah, should be a nice up and down from there.
Okay, so Katie, I think she dropped down. I don't know if it was on the out of bounds or short of it. I couldn't quite tell, but
it seemed like she must have dropped out of bounds because she would have taken it where it last went out because she was on the other side of the road. I thought. I don't know. We could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see when her score pops up at the end there. Gonna have some more long bids. This one, another hole that's, I think, on the higher end as far as distance goes for most of the FPO field.
Yeah,
I see a lot of these long circle 2 looks.
It's a longer putt and it's you got to shape a shot, so there's multiple degrees of difficulty, and that was brutal. Splash out to the right side.
Yeah. Little right on that putt from Holly. I'm sure she would agree, but that one of those 50-50 putts kind of could have gone either way. Was that a little forehand bid?
Yeah. Why not?
I guess so. Tree kind of got in the way there. So after a clean hole 5, some struggles across the board for our lead card here on hole 6. And I think with this par, Paige is going to gain at least another stroke on the whole rest of the card and most of the field. This played as the 3rd hardest hole on the day.
Yeah, I mean 3 is essentially a birdie as far as how the FPO is playing that hole.
Yeah, call it a par 3.5. On the hole 7 is a par 5, 679. You're playing along this baseball field. The baseball field left is OB. The fence line and OB line on the right extends the entire way around the backside of the basket as well. Your tee shot, you're just looking to throw something kind of straight through this gap, and then if you get a little finish left, that is the miss. You don't want to flirt with that OB on the right. Or just throw it perfectly down the middle.
I love that little like hydroplaning, skipping across the ground, putting it in the perfect spot. And Holly here, she's trying to match her. Hopefully this comes back. Wow.
Ooh. Just barely in front of that parking lot that is out of bounds. Can't really draw it up much better, although I'm sure she was a little nervous cutting it that close.
You got to make life exciting sometimes, right? You got to live on the edge. That's what she was doing. She was trying to feel alive.
Yeah, you got to make up strokes somehow. I think this is probably eagleable for her and Paige, who seem to be 2 of the farther throwers in this field of this tournament, at least. But you definitely got to push up towards those shorter tee pads if you do want to get a look for the 3.
Yeah. And
I think she caught the fence there.
She did. I liked how she tested it over the OB on the right and let it catch the fence on the left. This seems a little high. Gonna go over the fence.
Yeah, that's the one mistake you really can't make.
Yeah. Without a doubt, thinking Paige is going for the green.
Yeah, I think this is probably in the 350 range for her to get a up and down here.
Oh no.
I wonder if
Maybe
she was
she.
trying to play that into the fence and just threw it too far.
I think she might have. Yeah, I think she was laying up. Now Holly having an opportunity to gain a stroke or two, and she does the same thing.
Wow. Just not enough flip
Hmm.
up for either of them. It's kind of a tricky spot, right? Because if you're shorter, you can just play something more overstable. That's a great up by Katie, by the way. You can just play something shorter into that fence, right? But
Yeah,
they're almost too far to where like it's tough to get all the way up to the green, but you don't have that safety blanket of like, I know I can saw this off and I'll still be fine. So just
right.
catch that, tough in between spot where there's that little pocket of out of bounds. And they both found it. So this is a tricky up and down here. There's a couple trees and branches in the way. They both played it very well though. So should still have the par.
Right. This hole is probably one of my favorite on the course. I think and that's a fantastic putt, really good
Yeah,
birdie.
great
I think
birdie.
it's really well designed for risk reward because you can reach it for the three, but again, like you said, it's a risky throw when you can just pitch it up and kind of take an easier four.
Yeah, I mean, if you're inbounds on all your shots, you're most likely going to have a putt for the birdie. So yeah, like you said, I agree. Very good hole. Makes you make calculated decisions. Nice birdie from Irina. Don't want to gloss over that. As we jump into hole 8 is a par 4 at 578 feet. Very tight tunnel off the tee. If you're able to make your way out of it, then you have another kind of tunneling shot in towards the green, most likely going to be some sort of turnover or straight shot, depending on where your tee shot lands.
Yeah.
But objective 1 is find your way out of this tunnel. That looked like it found a way out.
Good. Absolutely. And guys, we're bringing you double the action because not only do we have a race for first place, but with that birdie from Irina, she just moved into a tie for third. So we got 2 races here. Every shot counts.
For sure. Plenty of action, I'm sure, going down on the chase card as well. Nice shot from Holly. Honestly, 3 great shots so far. This tunnel is so tight, and if you hit an early tree, it's almost an instant bogey, if not a double. So I shouldn't have said that. I spoke too soon.
It was you, dude. You got to take the blame for that one.
We'll see if hopefully Katie's able to prove me wrong. But she's going overhand.
Little tomahawk action.
Didn't quite make it out. Jinx. All right, looks like she got out that time, so we'll have a chance to get up and down for the bogey. See where everybody else is. Yeah, this is kind of like if you barely get out, you have this tricky little turnover backhand into the green. Very low ceiling, tough to execute. Ideally, you'd like to be, a little more left for this upshot, so you have a little more airspace to work with.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to hit that correct Anheuser angle with the wind and the height. It's just a high level shot.
Yeah, it's this just a little high, a little left there for Holly. Catches that last tree. This is
looks
an
like
ideal drive.
Yeah, this looks really good. She does yank over on it just a tad.
Yeah, but you could see she basically had a straight, almost like pushing hyzer shot into the green. A lot more ceiling to access from over there. It's pretty much how you would like to draw it up. Weird, like no skip there from Paige. That's going to leave her a tester for the par. See if Holly can put this close.
Or in. Okay, close.
Yeah. I believed for a second, yeah.
Hey, no hitting.
A little bit pulled there. She'll have a tester. Content with the layup and to drop in an easy par. It's a well played hole.
Yeah, 8 is a tough one. As we'll see, Paige just a bit short there on the par luck. Actually the hardest hole on the course, hole 8, at a 5.5 average. So
Makes sense.
definitely multiple demanding shots that it requires. So not surprising to see some struggles here. just a bit high.
Katie just wants to get off this hole.
Great par from Holly.
Yep, picks up one on Paige. Moves it. Picks up two on Paige. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry.
Wonder if we missed a shot there. That's
Yeah, we might have.
wow. We got a ball game, folks.
Absolutely.
Just like that. Going into the last hole of the front nine, it's flying by. Hole 9 is a par 3 at 298. If you have a forehand, you can kind of throw like a little bit of a flip up hyzer forehand or a subtle backhand turnover. Either way, it is a super tight tunnel, and yeah, that can happen quick.
I bet you that tree gets hit a lot.
Yeah, it is just right in your face, especially if you're trying to throw that backhand turnover line, because you really need to push the left side of this fairway if you want to shape the hole well. Holly, I think she got a little lucky there through the early right-hand side, but the line on the disc was nice, and this is looking even better. Oh, just the last one. It's such a tough backhand to throw just because the disc has to go so straight for so long before it starts to go right. And yeah, just such a tight gap to hit too.
Yeah, fortunately, Katie continues a little bit of the struggles and playing a little scramble golf here, but that's what this course calls for.
Yeah, it happens quick if you're not hitting your initial gaps off the tee. Looked like she made a good amount of forward progress there, but yeah, after hitting first available, it's tough. Almost every hole in this course, very tough to save a par.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as you get off the fairway, if you're not pitching back out, it's going to be really hard to make a lot of forward progress. I mean, I'll go back to hole 1 when you saw Holly end up in the rough on the right side, and she just pitched out and took her medicine, but it's hard to get yourself to do that every single hole if you're finding yourself in the rough.
Yeah. All right, so this is a birdie look for Holly. Oh, doesn't want any part of it. Interesting.
Maybe there's a little bit more wind out there than what we can tell.
Yeah, definitely some wind. I mean, elevated basket. Probably just, you know, wanting to keep it close, but Katie, great putt there. Good tourniquet putt, as some would say. Kind of stop the bleeding, hopefully get some momentum going back in the right direction.
Another double bogey. Tough hole. Tough hole.
Yeah, it's a demanding tee shot, and trouble can happen quick if you're not careful. But our two leaders, we've got a battle, folks. With only 9 holes to go, it's a one-stroke game at the top. It's going to be a super exciting finish. Let's take a look at our shot of the round contender. Holly Finley living on the edge here, just barely skipping in front of those OB stakes. Thank you to the Norse gods for supporting this coverage, as well as our Patreon family. Head on over to Heiser Media's YouTube channel, where you will find the back nine and the exciting conclusion of this year's Down East Players Cup. We'll see you over there.